Okay. I think a lot of you guys haven't had a break, so let's take a 5 minute break and then we can start our Q&A. Good. So at 5:40 if you're in Sedona, 8:30 if you're in Asia. See you guys soon. All right. Well, technically we still have 1 minute, but if anyone has a question, please feel free to ask. Violet, are you raising your hand because you have a question or you need no? Okay. All right. Welcome, everyone. Good morning, afternoon, uh, evening, depending on where you are. My name is Seiji, and I'm happy to be with you today for any questions that you might have. This can be questions about anything. So feel free to just open your microphone or to send your question in the chat. Mm, do we have Q&A section here? No, please. Yeah. So either if you want to talk, please just unmute yourself or write in the chat.
老师，新年快乐
Yeah, happy New Year to you too.
，Happy New Year！老师好我有
新
一个问
年快乐。
题，就因为今天我邀请了我的父亲，75岁的父亲在旁边一起陪我上课，是第一次。然后我很爱我的父亲，我很希望他健康长寿，生命能够去到更好的地方。我也希望全天下所有的父母能够健康
And
长
I
寿，
wish
生命能
all
够
the
去到更好
parents
的地
in
方。
the world can have
想
longevity
请
and can
老
move to
师
a
给
better
这些
place.
不在
So
我
I
们
would
情感
like
体系的这
to
些老
ask,
人们，
maybe
意思
teacher,
里
can
我
you
想
give
一些语言
all
给
the
他们
parents,
话。
all the
我想
elderlies
请老师
that are outside of our system, if you ever can give them some words, maybe you can give them some blessings. She's freezed, is it? Yeah, okay.
Yes, of course. Thank you very much for your question, and I'm happy to see you're with your family. It's always good to see. For me, the holidays are amazing because you get to see people that usually during the year you don't get to see much. I know I love going to Mexico to see my family, so I'm happy you're there. And I don't know. For me, I have a good feeling about this new year. I think it's going to be, for me particularly, it's a lot of big changes. So I'm particularly excited about that. I think a good seed, if we're going to talk about long and healthy life, is trying to promote somehow better health habits. You know, maybe you have, for example, for me, I need to I'm doing a lot of 4 steps with friends because during COVID, some friends during COVID, or people like me that recently got kids, we started to gain a little weight. So, an important seed that I'm trying to plant this year is to help my friends to have better health. And I think it's a very good thing to do in this new year to try to promote health as much as we can so that we plant the seed to have health ourselves. Exercise can be one, eating better, sleeping better. Uh, if you want to try a vegetarian diet for some days, that's also really good. But I think I think it's a really good year to hopefully transform everything that is going on. So congratulations, happy New Year, 新年快乐, and thank you for your question. Okay.
Happy. Hello,
You're the
teacher.
snake, right?
I'm Ella. I have a question. Happy Chinese Festival.
Hi,
I
Ella.
will try to speak in English.
Perfect.
In the three principal which are enunciation, bodhicitta, and word the corrective view. Geshe said they all are in the story of two husbands in the kitchen. And my question is, for example, if the husband, when husband yelled at me, how can I develop the three principal parts? And
Great. Awesome
are there
question.
any and are there any signs? Are there any signs prove me I have a little renunciation of bodhicitta? And another question is, the three principal paths one by one in the order, or must be in the order, or maybe it needn't one by one. These are my questions. Thank you, teacher.
Got it. Awesome. So I'll try to break my answer into two parts. So the first one, yes, first of all, I love your question. Me being part of DCI, I love when we get a very practical application of these great ideas. So in the two husbands story, what would be renunciation? Renunciation would be realizing that the more that we yell back, the more we'll get yelled back at. So, and to be tired and say, this is not how I want to spend my life, how I want to spend my time. It's a never-ending downward cycle that I'm so sick of it. If you want to get technical, it means to never, not even for a single moment, have desire for the pleasures of this world and constantly thinking of liberation. That's a classical definition of renunciation. What does it mean in normal terms, in day-to-day terms? It's that. It's, I'm so tired of doing things that don't work because they only get me in trouble. Someone yells at me and I think, oh, they're disrespecting Seiji. I need to defend myself. And it's that thought itself that gets me in trouble. So renunciation is, I'm sick of this. I'm going to find a new way. Bodhicitta, the second one, is that it's that same feeling, but turned towards everyone in the world. Not only I see that I get myself in trouble all the time, but everybody in the world, everybody that I see is constantly doing that. I mean, why else would there be two, 3 wars right now in the world if people didn't get themselves in trouble, right? So bodhicitta means to want to not just you, not being tired for you, but being tired that everybody is in this negative cycle and saying, I'm going to take personal responsibility to free these people. I am sick of people thinking the wrong things, hurting people and hurting people to get things and planting seeds that end up affecting them and creating this downward cycle. Now, the third aspect is understanding the husband comes from you, from your seeds. Or if you're talking about emptiness, understanding that there cannot be a husband that doesn't come from your seeds, which, as you remember, emptiness is always negative. Basically, it means someone is yelling at you because you must have yelled at someone in the past. And that is why I love how Geshe Michael did the two husbands, because the 3 paths are there. Now, that's the first part of your question. The second part of your question, they say that bodhicitta, if you want to turn the 3 principal paths into 2, you could say that the 2 most important ones is bodhicitta and emptiness. Because we already said that bodhicitta is renunciation towards everybody. I am sick of this cycle. I'm sick of, it makes sense, well, sick of samsara that keeps getting everyone in trouble. And I'm going to take, so you could say that bodhicitta already contains the first 2. So your question, should there be an order? No. In theory, we should try to always practice both together. A classic example is they say that your practice should be like a bird that has 2 wings. One is bodhicitta, and the other one is understanding of emptiness. So if you want to get the most explosive results, you should always mix in, trying to understand seeds and having this love for people, having this personal determination that you are going to free everyone that comes from you. So, in a way, you're helping yourself. So they should always be married, if possible. Now that's in theory. In practice, to be honest, it's hard. It's hard to think of other people's well-being when someone is yelling at us. Even harder to think about their emptiness. But I believe that we just try to do what we can. When we manage to really practice, first thing I like to use Tonglen. Like let's say that for one, someone is yelling at me and I didn't yell back, and I remember where he comes from. Straight away, I I close my eyes, or I picture everybody in the world, and I with my exhale, I send that out. I dedicate it. I say, I hope that everybody in the world can experience this. I give this seed away, so that everybody can just have this tiny little seed, and that multiplies, makes the seed stronger. So yeah, does that answer your question, Elva?
Yeah, thank you. I'm very deep moved. This is my favorite New Year's present.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, great question to ask ourselves in New Year. I also want to practice more. All right. Rachel Lim? Rach Lim?
Hi, Professor Seiji. I have a question
Hi.
with regards to mental affliction, negative
Ooh,
emotion. So is
yes.
mental affliction in the category of a thought or in the category of feeling? Because I get a little
Mm,
bit confused. I know that we have five hips, right? And I
mm,
know that negative emotion or mental affliction is in all other factors.
mhm,
And whereas the feeling in the five hips just mean feeling good, feeling bad, or neutral,
or
right?
neutral.
Feeling good, feeling bad, feeling good, feeling bad, or just neutral. So
Mm,
I'm wondering if the mental affliction is a thought or a feeling. I can't
mm,
put them like this is just feeling good or bad. Then the negative emotion is supposed to be in all other factors. But if we just take them out, like mental affliction, is that a thought or a feeling?
mm. Very good question. To be honest, I'll need to check, but in my opinion, in as far as I know, it's a thought. The feeling comes after. But in Abhidharma, I know they're very technical, and in that part, I don't. I'll need to check. But as far as I understand, as far as I remember, is a thought, and then the thought triggers the feeling. But let me check and get back to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Let me see. We have a question in the chat. If a friend is engaged in the killing karma, how can he or she be helped to stop killing and engage in good deeds? Killing karma. Okay. Great question. So I can relate to this. You know, when I was in before working for DCI, I was working when I was studying my master's degree in Australia. I was also working. Uh, I was working as a cook in a cafe, and even though we didn't kill animals there, it was my job to, from time to time, cook meat and seafood, etc., etc. And at the time, that was all I could do. So here's what I used to do, and it can be a little bit controversial, but you need to be very careful uh, not to stay in it too long. So I would, first of all, if it's the only way that you can survive, it's okay to continue doing it. I mean, hmm, what I mean is we all plant mix seeds. If it's for a good cause, like feeding your family, sometimes you just need to continue doing it, because if you quit, then your family's without money. And then your kids might go hungry, and then you're not protecting life, right? But it's good to purify the seeds, because it is true that if we are engaged in any step of the process, we are part of the problem. So the first thing to remember is that no one is pure. For example, I live in the US and I pay taxes. And the US is a country that uses its taxes for very, very violent things, like wars. Or right now, there's a big scandal because they're doing massive deportations, and often very violent, against Mexicans, where I was born. So, first of all, I think it's good to understand that we're all planting a mix of good and bad seeds. But there can be actions that you can take. If it's something that you can control, trying to find a job where there's less killing involved. If it's something you cannot control as easy, like what the government of your country is doing, you still pay taxes, but you can try to organize a movement, or sending your local representatives a letter, or instead of you can give donations for companies that protect life. So that's my preferred way. If I am not if I don't agree with the things that my government is doing, I prefer to give donations, and that reduces my taxable income. So I use my money that I was going to give to taxes anyway for something that would help protect life. So trying to balance it out. And as soon as you can, if you can get out of this killing karma, then try to do it as fast as you can, because in the end, you're hurting yourself, or your friend is hurting himself. Okay, let me see. Next question here. Oh, thank you for translating, Spring. I got a question for planting partner. I have been doing double 4 steps with old lady at elderly home. I organized a group of people doing it, as well as seed partner who wants a partner for almost 3 years. I'm also organizing coffee meditation with a group for almost 2 years. I did 4 powers at the beginning of planting seeds, but not nowadays. The partner did not come yet. Can you please advise what else I should do to make it happen? Great question. And this is a very common question, unfortunately. So it seems that we all have certain difficulties when planting seeds. For example, I have noticed that in Latin America, people don't have too much the problem of a partner, but have more the problem of making enough money, oxygen money. Whereas in Asia, it's the opposite. People have no problem making money, but they have a lot of trouble finding a partner. So something that I found that helped me particularly is, I don't know if you've done the level impossible anger, but for me, when I started studying anger more in depth, thanks to Geshe Michael, I realized the destructive power that anger has. And because I've had times in my life where I didn't know how to manage my emotions, I would get angry often. So I was planting a lot of really, really, really good seeds. But then I would get angry and destroy them. So I think it's also good to watch out for that. Watch out for two things. One, anger that can destroy all your good seeds. And two, uh, the opposite of companionship. For example, uh, sometimes we might feel that someone hurt us, and the way that we to get back at them is to leave them alone on purpose so that they don't feel good. So try to see if maybe you're doing that in your life and try to stop. Because it seems that from what you're saying here, you're planting all the good seeds to get a partner. So I would suggest to work on eliminating obstacles. And two main obstacles that I know of for this particular thing: anger, and maybe giving the opposite of companionship, leaving people to be lonely on purpose. Now, if you have the problem of anger, I'll tell you a little tip, because I asked Geshe Michael this question. I asked him, you have anger on one side that destroys good seeds, and on the other hand, you have dedication or coffee meditation. What happens when you do both? Which one wins? The good news is, if you do dedication, you just went to the nursing home and you went to visit your old man or lady. As soon as you finish, try to do that coffee meditation to think, I just did something amazing. I'm planting the seeds so that everybody in the world can have their partner. And I dedicate it. To do it just as you finish is the best insurance policy to save those seeds. And then if you get angry after, and this is Geshe Michael words, if you get angry after, then your seeds are still protected. So that's a third tip that I would give you. Try to do coffee meditation as soon as possible. If you're like me, if you get upset easily, maybe anger is saying it too much, but if you get upset easily, try to do the coffee meditation before you even have time to get upset. And that will protect your seeds. And that will allow them to grow a little bit faster and protect them from, in this case, a very powerful obstacle, which is anger. Let me see. Translate. Let me try to translate this question. Okay, my current boss at work and I hate each other very much. I feel broken and depressed. I'm sorry. I really want to transfer from my current position to avoid him, but the boss I applied for has not agreed to my request for transfer for the time being. Whenever he shows up, my consciousness is very panicked, scared, and fed up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're going through this. Because of this person, I feel like I don't want to go to work. I am filled with negative emotions every day, which also affects the emotions of my family. I am so busy with work that I can't even study. Time is very compressed. How should I adjust my status? Wow. First of all, I'm really sorry you're going through this, and yeah, I've been in those situations, and it's not easy. And so, what I would suggest is sometimes there's a life tool called third party loops, where sometimes we have people in our lives because of seeds that we tend to get angry faster, easier. Usually those people are either your boss, one of your parents, your partners, or maybe your kids. It's just people that you have a very strong connection. Sometimes, if, for example, for me, this happens a lot to me with my mom. We clash. Our personalities clash a lot, and so sometimes with just one word or just one look, it can trigger, like an being upset almost automatically. Um, so if I know this, that I have a harder time controlling myself when I'm around my mother, then I would try to work on the seeds, but with someone else and dedicate that to my relationship with my mother. I've done this for a long time, and to be honest, I'm super, 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 super happy. Well, this is one of the main things that I'm happy about the seed system, that after a lot of years of practice, I am finally, I have been getting into a much, much better relationship with my mother. I haven't gotten angry at her, I don't know, maybe in the last 6 months, I think, which for me before used to be impossible. And we talk fairly often. We talk, I don't know, maybe every week or every 3 days. So just try it. And try to control the anger and dedicate that, right? Every time you can with someone that it's easier to control it with. And then just say, I wish these seeds can help my relationship with my boss. Now, if you're in a situation where, I mean, I don't know how to interpret, but here you write hate. If you're in a situation where it's gotten to the point of hating each other, sometimes I think it's okay to just take some space. If you're in a situation that no matter how much you have studied about seeds and no matter how much you have practiced, but there's just this very almost impossible situation where you end up planting more seeds than good. Sometimes it's necessary to just quit in this uh, in this situation. Now there might be reasons why you cannot quit, and if that's the case, then I would suggest definitely trying the third party loops. But sometimes if we stay in a relationship where you're just planting way more bad seeds than good, sometimes just ending it is the right choice, in my opinion. If it's above our capacity and we're just planting mostly bad seeds and having them plant bad seeds, sometimes taking some distance is better. Not a super bright answer, but sometimes it's necessary. Rach Lim.
Thank you. I heard from Kashila's recording that he said that if we are crazy, like we are so seriously grieving, like we are so seriously affected our mind that we do something bad, then the deed is less serious because of our misconception. That is what I heard from him. So I just want to ask, if someone is so mentally afflicted, somebody, they are so mentally afflicted, and then they get so angry, they see things that is not there, and the deed that is done, is it less powerful then? So I'm kind of like, but then
When
I
you say
also heard that anger destroy our virtue, right? So I'm kind of,
Yes. Well, what do you mean when you say crazy? Do you mean in a figurative way or in like, for example, when I tell someone, oh no, you're being crazy, or an actually crazy person that has been that has a mental problem?
I think not actually crazy. Is there a difference there?
I think it does. I think there is, because I see it as similar to when you are in a dream. For example, if you're having a bad dream and you kill someone there, do you plant bad seeds? Yeah, technically, yes. is it as bad as if you kill someone in real life? No. I need to ask Geshe Michael about this, but to me it seems like the same thing, where if you are mentally ill and you cannot control. So, for example, I used to before working for DCI, I used to work in Australia for a company that did work with people with disabilities, and we had a lot of clients that had different types of disabilities, and some of them could not control their body, and they would just try to hit you. But you could tell that they didn't do it like a premeditated. Like, I've had people try to hit me that don't have a disability, and it feels very different. Whereas some people, I remember one of them, he had an anger problem, and he would just get angry and try to hit me, and I would just grab his arm. But then when talking to him, he definitely had a disability, right? But I don't think he was mean spirited. I truly believe he was not mean spirited, because we're good friends. We managed to become good friends. And so in that case, I don't think let's say, this versus someone else that has full capabilities and they'll try to hit me. I definitely believe that the seed that he planted was a lot less strong than someone who had the option to calm down, to have the tools to calm down. Whereas this other person, it was just part of his disability. He just sometimes he couldn't even control, like a slight emotion of irritation would have him do that. So I truly believe that yes, it was a bad seed, but not as bad as if I were to hit someone.
Yeah, I see that. Thanks, Seiji. Yeah, I can see the difference. Like a normal person like me, if I get very angry, then the anger is very serious, very bad, compared to somebody who is like you mentioned, they have some disability or they have some mental illness, right? Or they are grieving in that context, that they don't really mean it.
Right,
Can I
right.
put it that way, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. I
Thank you.
truly believe that, yeah.
Yeah,
But
thank you.
it depends on the case by case. I can only tell you from my experience, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good enough. Thank you.
Okay, so we have another question in the chat. The seeds we plant are 65 in our consciousness. We have countless cells that are constantly being updated. Are their consciousness also planted 60 seeds per second? Then the seeds they plant are the same as those we plant. Are they the same seed at the same time? If I judge my hands, will my legs also judge my hands and plant seeds? So at this time, my hand also judging itself and planting seeds, or what? Not sure I understand it, but I'll tell you what the ancient books say. It's not necessarily, I wouldn't see it in terms of the cells in your body, but rather your mind, which actually has nothing to do with your body, right? The mind is not the brain, and it's nothing to do with the body. So I would say the cells are not conscious, for sure, no. At least not in our tradition. I know that the scientists do see some cells having some sort of intelligence, but in as far as I know, in our tradition, it's not that we don't count cells as a living being, but rather people, Seiji, which is not my body, by the way. So it is that mental stream, which if you break it down, are just seeds projecting consciousness, a mind that is planting seeds. So I don't know if that's what you meant with your question. So in a way, if you try to break down even the mind, which is one of the four spaces meditation in DCI, which I love, yeah, you stop canceling what's not there. You start with canceling the world. Then you continue canceling space, right? The outer space, I mean. Then you cancel your body. You're not your body. Then what's left? Your mind stream, which I like to think of it like a big noodle, right? From past to future. And even if you break down into what's not there, there isn't a mind. It's just seeds creating this moment's consciousness, and then the next moment's consciousness. So then in the end, if you keep canceling, you're left with seeds. But then those seeds are not there by themselves either. So these seeds are only the product of other seeds. So in the end, you end up with emptiness. There's nothing that doesn't come from seeds. I don't know if that's exactly what you were talking about, but thinking about it, it's really cool. And something called subtle impermanence. We saw it, I believe, in Adam's text. Really, really, really cool topic. Trying to break everything down, trying to cancel all the things that don't come from seeds, or cancel the things that are self-existent. So in the end, you're left with nothing, because there's nothing that is self-existent. So even your mind is not something like that you can grasp. You know what I mean? It's just seeds in the end. So I know that's not exactly what you asked, but yeah, that's the answer. First of all, mind is not the body, and second of all, even the mind itself is not self-existent. It has to come from seeds. Now, the third part of your question: if I judge my hands, with my leg judge my hands. If you judge your hands, I don't understand what you mean by that. Let's say that. Do you mean that if you think about your hands in a bad way? My legs also judge my hands. Oh, okay. Also judging itself and planting seeds or what? Yeah, no, actually, yeah, that we already talked about. In our system, we don't really see our hands as a separate entity. Actually, we don't even see the body as being yourself. So yes, I don't think you could say that your legs are judging your hands, because I wouldn't see them as something conscious. Okay, next question. Sorry, translators, I will slow down. Question from Lila. If a friend, okay, we already said that. Okay. Next question. My current boss and I hate. Oh, we already did that. Okay, next question from Pure Gold. As we learn, we need to think about emptiness during meditation, but how to do it? I don't know how to think about emptiness. Which kind of actually, without wanting it, the meditation I was talking about, the four spaces meditation, it's an incredible meditation to think about emptiness. If you like, so I'll give you this is one of the versions, right? I know that Geshe Michael has tweaked it a little bit, but my favorite version of the four spaces meditation is you picture yourself lying down on the grass, right? You have the grass behind you, you have the world behind you, you have trees around you, and you're looking at the blue sky. So it's a cessation meditation. Remember, the key to emptiness, it has to be a meditation about canceling things. Because emptiness is a lack of something, a lack of self-existence. So one of my favorite meditations on emptiness is this. So you're lying down on the grass. You feel the grass in your back. You see the trees and the blue sky. And then you start canceling things. You start canceling the earth behind you, the grass, the trees. then you're kind of like floating in space, right? In outer space. Or I guess you can be just floating in the sky. You cancel the sky as well. Then you're floating in outer space. You cancel the space, so you're floating in the middle of nothing. Then what's left? Your body. You also try to cancel your body. Try to find what's the true, like, for me, I think it helps me a lot because to be honest, subconsciously, I still believe there's a smallest part that is the building block of reality. You can call it protons, neutrons, or atoms. But this meditation helps to attack that. So you're floating in space, and then you keep canceling because your body also comes from seeds. Cancel that. Then it's just your mind, however you want to picture that, as a subtle energy just floating in the middle of nowhere, kind of like a formless realm. And then you cancel the mind because the mind cannot be self-existing either. So it ceases projecting the mind, this moment of the mind, and then the previous moment of the mind, then the previous moment of the mind. So then it just becomes seeds. And then you start canceling those seeds. The seed is not there by itself. It came from another one. And that's it came from another one. And from another one. So in the end, you're left with nothing, emptiness, with a lack of self-existence. Not nothing, but with a lack of self-existence. So that's one of my favorite meditations on emptiness. If you don't remember it, there's going to be a level 7 in Hangzhou, China in April, where Geshe Michael is going to come back to China to teach level 7. So if you can make it, check it out. And we will also be offering it online. So level 7 is incredible. I would this year level 7, try to do it. Or the Diamond Cutter, if the Steps on the Path program, course 6, I believe. Yeah. But it's coming, so April. Try to do it either online or in person. Okay, Shijin. Oh, we have our SEM teacher trainees. Very smart guy. Sid said that everything is possible, but logically speaking, some things are impossible, such as becoming the president in the United States. I don't know about that, Shijin. I never would have thought that we could have this president. Well, I don't think I agree, which disappoints me and makes me feel that planting seeds is meaningless. How to balance seed wisdom and logic. So what you're saying is that, so I'll tell you something. And I think this is very, very, very important for all of us to understand. There's a difference between possibility and probability, or possibility and within our reach. I'll tell you what I mean in a second. Does your body, and this is kind of what Nick was talking about in the class when we did the little sharing, can your body survive without food? Does the body need food? Seed-wise, technically no. But do you have the seeds that your body needs food in order to survive? Yes, definitely yes. Does that mean there's people who don't need food? No. Yes, there are people who do manage to change those seeds that they technically do not eat. I have a friend that basically almost doesn't eat. Anatole Nguyen, for those of you who know him, he eats very little. And sometime in his life, he was telling me that he was even eating just like flower essence and the sunrise and sunset, which is a practice that has existed. And the guy is super healthy, by the way. So is it possible? Yes. Or I'll give you another one. Oh, this comes all the time. Do you need a vehicle for your seeds to give you the result? Technically, no. Is it within our reach? Is it within my reach? No. If I was at 11, I can't remember what scripture it said, but I remember Geshe Michael talking about it. I asked him this question. I said, at which point does our seeds stop? Do we need to stop needing a vehicle for our seeds to ripen for us? And he said, yeah, it is technically possible, but you need to be an 11th level bodhisattva. Meaning, you must have seen emptiness directly and gone through the bodhisattva, the 10th level, sorry, not 11, 10th level bodhisattva, and gone through the bodhisattva levels. And the 10th level is just before you become a Buddha, an enlightened being. So is it possible? Yes. Is it possible to not need a vehicle for your seeds to ripen? Yes. You can just say, I give to someone and then just things appear in my lap. You know, do I need to work to get money? Yes. Is it technically possible to not work for money? Yes. But it's, just because it's possible, it doesn't mean it's within my reach yet. So it's a important distinction to make. Is it possible to be the president of the United States? I would say that's even closer, more possible than to not need a vehicle for your seeds. And this is why coming to these classes is cool, because you hear the stories of incredible practitioners who didn't need a vehicle for the seeds. Where was it? I think in the Vimalakirti. Those are not. Oh, well, that's one of the books. Or you hear the stories of Gautama. He said, if I'm not helping people, let the Ganges roll backwards. And he can do this kind of things just by saying it, right? Technically possible, not within my reach, not at all. So I hope I answered your question, Shiju. Now, sorry, should that disappoint you? Depends. I don't think it should disappoint you. I think if we use it correctly, it should encourage us. Is it possible? Yes. Is it within my reach now? No. But that does not mean that I cannot get there. And that's the whole point of spending so much. I mean, I know you particularly. You spend so much time and effort learning deeper and deeper, coming to mixed nuts or Xuanzang Tower, sorry, coming to SAM, going to DCI. So just because it's not within our reach now, it doesn't mean that we should stop. You know, I mean, what else are you going to do? Go back to your previous life, what you used to do before? I don't think that's an option. So yeah, that's my answer to that. Better ways to live because bad seeds have been planted inside. Oh, I think that's some from a previous question. Let me see more questions in the chat. I'm so grateful. What precise seeds can you plant that can enable founders of Fortune 500 companies to learn and practice the wisdom of seed emptiness? Wow, I love this question. What precise seeds can you plant that can enable founders of Fortune? My God, that's such a specialized seed. I couldn't tell you what the specific seed of Fortune 500 companies. They say that emptiness is within hidden reality, and the exact seeds, the seed correlations, is even more difficult to see. Only an enlightened being can see them. I don't think I can give you an answer of Fortune 500 companies because I haven't seen Fortune 500 companies in the scriptures. But what I can tell you is I'll translate to what used to come in the books, which is great leaders, kings. I think the general seed is just trying to use your time well. I would think that's the seed. What do I mean by that? We all are, generally speaking, the people coming to these classes, you're good. It's not like you need to decide, will I help Marina here, or will I kill someone else? We don't have those kind of decisions. We're just trying to, we all are doing pretty good, So I would tend to think is concentrating on using your time well. Why do I think that's connected? Because I believe that behind the question, again, not going for Fortune 500, but influential people, is just concentrating on planting. Our problem, the people coming here, is how to plant the most powerful seeds. And I'll tell you something that I asked Geshe Michael, and it's kind of sad and it's kind of worrying. He said that if you're a bodhisattva, for example, or if your objective is to help more people and you know about seeds, and let's say you have two actions, right? One action can help, I don't know, has the potential to help 3 people, and the other action has the potential to help 500 people. If you know about seeds and if you are in this path, if you choose the option that will help 3 people, you actually plant a bad seed. Not terrible bad seed, but a bad seed, because you didn't go for what the best seed. So I think it's all about that, trying to make the best use of our time and try to go for the best seeds that we can plant. Okay. All right, I think we have run out of time, but let me try to see if I can see more questions here. My friend, yeah, I'm happy to stay a bit longer. I see some questions here. My friend runs a snack food wholesale company. Because food has a shelf life after being wholesale to stores, many stores do not sell well. As a result, shelf life has expired before the food is sold out and cannot be sold. This has caused a lot of losses to my friend's company, and it has debt of more than 3 million. Whoa. I would like to ask the teacher what seeds should be planted so that my friend's company can make a profit and pay off its debts. Oh, great question. Great question. First of all, thank you for trying to help your friend. This is amazing. So there's something, this is sadly, this is something fairly common that happens. And I think the best seed is to help someone who's in a similar situation. Unfortunately, in the world, there's a lot of people who are in deep debt, and trying to meet with them constantly and helping them in the best way you can. For example, if you're good with software and you can help your friend get out of debt by you teaching him how to use software better, do it. And this is just an example, right? Just keep doing it. I have so many friends that have managed to use this system successfully for that. And personally, I have never been in debt, so I'm very grateful for that. But I have a lot of friends that have used this method of helping other people who are in deep debt to get out of the deep debt themselves. Max, our organizer from Taipei, did that before he run. That's how he ended up in the seed system. Someone before he learned about the seeds, someone tricked him and cheated him, and someone owed him a lot of money, and he just kept. That's when he was looking for answers, and he met Geshe Michael, kept practicing, and I think it was actually also 3 million. So I suggest try to contact Max Wu, our organizer in Taipei. He can tell you the story about, he did exactly this. Okay. Maybe one more question. Chat. I recently had an exchange with a business executive on the topic of Vajra wisdom, of diamond wisdom. His philosophy is whether to do business management consulting or we need Western management science concepts. After all, it is a common criterion for the top 500 companies. Regarding the seed system philosophy, the concept pays more attention to improvement of people's cognition. Compare it is suitable for the bosses, but for middle level or grassroots workers, it cannot refine system management. Western management science is still needed to get results. I want to ask if Vajra wisdom is 100% effective. So he said, how can diamond wisdom help? Oh, perfect. I love this question. We're going back to the aspirin, right? To the question we're talking about before. Does the aspirin have the power to take away my headache? No. Do I need to take an aspirin? Yes. But will it work only if I help someone take away their mental pain, right? So again, we're going back to the same thing. Do seeds need a vehicle to give us the result? Technically, no. Isn't within our reach. It's not within my reach. I still need to take an aspirin to take away the headache. But it doesn't mean don't do like a big mistake. We all do. I know I did when I first learned about seed system, is to say, don't need to do any conventional methods. I'll just plant the seeds and wait. And yeah, that's technically possible. But if you want to get results faster, you can do both. You can make sure you plant seeds. But because we all have an incredibly huge bag of different types of seeds, you don't know how the seeds will ripen. You know, the life tool, don't try to guess in DCI. This is what it's talking about. Unless you are an enlightened person, you cannot know exactly how your seed, the good seed you're planting, will ripen. So the best thing is to plant seeds like crazy and then leave many vehicles for those seeds to deliver you the results. You know what I mean? While understanding that the solution will not come from the vehicle, like hiring a Western management company. So I would say do both, or tell your friend to do both. Let me see what. So it doesn't say exactly what he wants to achieve, but let's say that you want to increase sales in your company. Are you going to stop doing marketing? No, continue doing marketing, but make sure the marketing is like the aspirin. Make sure you charge your marketing campaigns with helping other people sell their products. And so I would say do both. Hire the consultant and plant the seeds to help the seeds of what you want to achieve, like increasing sales or whatever. Okay. I think yes. Okay, I think we answered all the questions. at least the ones that I can see. Thank you all for coming, and oh, how to know what the seed career you choose is correct? The seed seed carrier. You cannot. You cannot until it ripens. That's what I mean. When at least that's how I interpret it. When Geshe Michael says, "Don't try to guess," I think he was referring to karmic correlations, right? If karmic correlations are even harder to see than emptiness, and we haven't even seen emptiness directly, then forget about trying to see what's the seed for the pattern on my water bottle. Forget it. It's only enlightened beings can see. And I know about this because the previous book that I was translating was about karmic correlations. And only enlightened beings can see. So I don't think you can know what's its carrier. So that's why I think you should try to put as many. First of all, main thing, plant the seed, and two, set up a few vehicles for your seeds to deliver you the results. Yay! Okay, thank you all very much. Happy New Year, 新年快乐 to all our friends in Asia. I'm so happy to see that most of you are with your families. Please take advantage of this time. Give your loved ones a big hug, and yeah, try to let someone in your family how much you love them. It's always good to hear that. So try to give some love to your family. All right. Thank you all, and see you soon. See you later.